power's cruel blow. Chains on our tongues, they bind tight. In the shadows we lose sight.
Eyes watching the darkened night. Two ticket rules with all might. Voices tremble, hearts in pain. Freedom feels like distant rain.
Oh, the fear that grips the soul when the night takes its toll. Prison bars for words we speak. Under shadows we grow weak.
Hushed cries in the midnight air. Lives caught in the web of despair. Each day a fearful game we play, hiding thoughts we dare not say.
Will the dawn break with light, chase away this endless night? Or will shadows take our call and let our spirit fall? Oh, the fear that grips the soul when the night takes its toll. Prison bars for words we speak. Under shadows we grow weak.
Hushed cries in the midnight air. Lives caught in the web of despair. Each day a fearful game we play, hiding thoughts we dare not say.
Will the dawn break with light, chase away this endless night? Or will shadows take our call and let our spirit fall? Oh, the fear that grips the soul when the night takes its toll. Prison bars for words we speak. Under shadows we grow weak.
It's Friday night and we're all in!
Welcome to my party, we're just getting started. A life is a dream or a nightmare scarring. Hand me a drink cause I think I'm going all in. Get me a shrink who can catch me when I'm falling. Cover up my scars, flip the handlebars. Crashing in my car, wake up in a bar. I'll be a superstar, just on my avatar. This world is so bizarre, empty out the reservoir. Yeah, I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way. So I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy, don't think I'll get home safe. So I'm taking 6 shots all straight to the face. I'm taking 6 shots, are you coming with me? I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way. So I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy, don't think I'll get home safe. So I'm taking 6 shots all straight to the face. I'm taking 6 shots, are you coming with me? Sometimes you need to let loose, grab juice, get goose, tattoos, taboos, get screwed. Loosen up, buttercup, all those hate comments will never make you feel enough. We're all adequate graduates, heart full of calluses, but we know calculus. Damn, ain't that fabulous? Can't wait to apply all those mathematicus. But we can't get a job that pays us enough. I'm about to pop off. Fuck you, you're lost. We all know that we never really want a boss. So I'ma do what I want to, something I can't undo. Yeah, I'ma do what I want to, something I can't undo. I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way. So I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy, don't think I'll get home safe. So I'm taking 6 shots, all straight to the face. I'm taking 6 shots, are you coming with me? I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way. So I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy, don't think I'll get home safe. So I'm taking 6 shots, all straight to the face. I'm taking 6 shots, are you coming with me?
Hey. It's Friday night. John and Ed. And it's all in. How we doing? All right, Ed?
Oh, I'm good. It's mental. The world is mental, and it's all crazy.
The world is mental.
It's
We have got a treat for you tonight, people. A couple of bits of housekeeping. First of all, we've got to say thank you to Night Readers because he dropped me one at the very start of the chat. But he didn't do it on Ko-fi. Because he said he was having trouble. So he didn't get his siren, so I gave him one. A siren, that is. Now, if I tell you what, I would like
wronging, man.
And
oh,
shh, you might think
fiddlesticks.
You might think this is a trick, right? But it's not. I'd like somebody to donate on Ko-fi and see if it works. It's not a trick. I'm just asking. You know, it can be a tiny amount, whatever suits you. Anyway, right.
Just drop him a quid and put him out of his misery.
Yeah, drop me a quid. Put me out of my
Not
misery.
that will stop him being miserable, obviously.
But Nick Treadis, as always, mate, we really appreciate your donations. Thank you. And those other people out there, Julie, Deadeye, you're the people, Vaughn, you're the people that keep me going. It looks like Shalini's fallen asleep. Oh no, Shalini's here. Well done, Shalini. So we got Shalini, Julie, Emma, Gert's a lad. Who else we got? Digi you remember? Z gets a star after his name because he's a member of this channel. J Frankie 75. Robin's here and he's all excited because he's on the live show. That doesn't normally happen. Ray, who's slightly less obnoxious tonight, I think. Yorkshire lad. Who else we got? Who have I missed? Nick to read us, obviously. Dread Eye and Joey. Yeah, there we go. That's everybody that's declared themselves. There's obviously more because there's 16 people watching with 2 likes. But you can address that at your own leisure. I'm not going to give you any grief for that. Right, this week.
The bloody show, people. You know you like it. You know you want to.
Yeah, you do. What a week, mate. And I think what we'll do is we'll start off with a little bit. And there's maybe people out there that don't remember this guy or don't know him. But I think Norm's gone. Norm has gone. Because everybody loved Norm and Cheers, didn't they? Did you ever watch?
Yeah,
Cheers?
I can't admit to being a massive fan of the series, but I've never been a big fan of sitcoms.
Yeah, well,
but even I knew who he was, so that's saying something. That's
not a big deal. So, speaking of other things that have gone, no, it's not just Norm that's gone. It's not just Norm. Doctor Who. So apparently, after 2 seasons, it's in the bin and it's going on an extended pause.
Get woke, go broke. I mean,
yeah, Cliff did make.
To be honest, I've never watched it. I mean, I Doctor Who fell out of favor with me a long time ago.
I stopped watching it after. I watched it to the end of the Jodie Whittaker ones. I think I didn't watch the last season of Jodie Whittaker. So I kind of gave up. They did ruin it. They really ruined it. It was fine. It didn't need to be a woman, and it certainly didn't need to be this dude.
Well, I mean, that's something that the BBC are really good at, is just ruining everything.
Yeah. I think Disney had a hand in this one, though.
Oh, Kel Surprise.
Right. Okay, moving on. Because we've
Honestly,
got a lot.
it's no big loss.
We've got a lot to rip through tonight. And remember, anybody that doesn't remember this maybe needs to give themselves a reality check, because there are no good guys out there. There are no saviors.
Especially not when it comes to stabbing things in your arm.
Yeah. So a statement by Donald J. Trump, 45th President of the United States. He made this in March 2021. I hope everyone remembers when they're getting the CV-19 vax that if I wasn't president, you wouldn't be getting that beautiful shot for 5 years at best, and probably wouldn't be getting it at all. I hope everyone remembers. Well, did we? Did we remember? I tell you what,
Well, certainly the people whose lives have been irretrievably ruined by it, I remember.
Allegedly. What I would like to though is, I can't understand why. And I asked you the question and you never came back to me, because you said at least that's something when I posted that tweet yesterday, which shows the excess death for 2025 is running right in between 2023 and 2024's. So it's more than 2024's, but less than 2023's. So why? Why? I don't know why. I don't know why we would have excess death to that degree, because there does seem to be excess death. 2023 was the worst.
Yeah, and it's also, if you actually look at the age breakdown,
So
the age
old
breakdown
people
is
again.
well, yeah, but there's a disproportionate number from the other end of the spectrum as well.
Yeah, there's nobody from below under 14. And then it gets slightly higher as you go up the age grouping, but it's not until you get to over 65s that it really starts to be a big.
The thing is that
again.
we can't have a serious, in-depth chat about this on this nonsense platform.
No.
That's a simple
But
fact.
we can point out what's happening, and
I know we can point out facts.
yeah. But you know what, people, you do what you've got to do. Keep yourself safe.
Absolutely, everybody make their own decisions, and just make sure you know what's going into your body.
That's it. Right, Donald Trump. there's been some consternation about Trump showing the wrong things when he was talking to, was it Ramaphosa? What's his name?
Yeah, Ramaphosa.
Yeah, so he was talking to him about white genocide on South African farmers. Ramaphosa was claiming he knew nothing about it. Trump showing him pictures of something happening in the Congo. Hey, it's Africa.
Well,
it's close enough.
Well, this is, yes, it's a common problem with Africa. I still have people that say, you lived in South Africa, didn't you? It's like, no. South Africa's like, it's like 1,000 miles away from where I actually lived. Yeah. But it's also, I blame Mercator. If it wasn't for him and his projection, people would have a much more realistic idea of how big everything is.
Yeah, I know. The Mercator projection does make Europe and the States look a lot bigger than they really are. Makes Greenland look fucking huge, but it's not that big.
I mean, the thing with this is that actually, yes, there is an issue with white farmers being murdered in South Africa.
There is, yeah. To
call it a genocide, I'm not necessarily sure that that's accurate. But when we have what's happening in Gaza, where there's babies dying of like starvation and stuff now.
Yeah. I mean,
I think that for him to be waving that around in front of old Cyril's face is a bit much, really.
Yeah, What about this other tweet beside it? Haitians killed their white people when they took power. Zimbabweans killed their white people when they took power. South Africans are killing their white people after taking power. Is that right, generally?
Well, the one that I would object to is Haitians. I mean, yes, the Zimbabweans had a similar sort of land reclamation and redistribution, and
Uh-huh.
incredibly fertile, productive farms are now dust, basically. And when I was a kid living in Zambia, Zimbabwe was the breadbasket of Africa. I mean,
Yeah.
we would be, when we went down to Lake Kariba on holiday, we would always be really excited about going over to the Zimbabwean side of the border because they had shops there where you could actually buy stuff. But the thing with the Haitians, Haiti was the world's first and only successful slave rebellion,
Yeah.
and they've never been forgiven for it. So to say Haitians rose up against their slave masters, and some of them probably died. But I'm not sure it's appropriate to put it into this particular list, as it were.
Yeah. I just wondered if it was relevant. Just wondered.
Oh no, I mean, it's certainly relevant because of what Trump said in the White House, but
Yeah.
it feels too much like cover. You can't point out one lot of killings and ignore another lot of killings that you're actually helping to
Yeah. There's no
make
nuance, is
happen.
there?
It's no, and there's no, there's very, unfortunately with Trump, when it comes to history and geography, there is very little intelligence there. He's not he's not a historian. He couldn't sit. I mean, it's not like Putin. He couldn't sit a reporter down for half an hour and give him a history of the United States.
It's like when Putin did that, it's like, holy shit, man. I mean, it's like, I firmly believe that Putin thinks it's really important for the West to understand this, but the West is never going to understand this in the way that Slavs do. It's just, we're never going to do it.
Yeah, it's also Westerners. We don't have the same kind of keen sense of history that Russians do. Partially because I'm afraid to say it, that most Russians are actually better educated than most Westerners, from what I can tell.
99.9% literacy apparently in Russia, 79% in the USA.
Yeah, and I mean, your average Russian on the street could probably tell you more. They could probably do the same half-hour lecture that Putin did about Russian history.
Yeah, yeah.
Whereas most Americans don't even know who the frickin' president is.
Yeah,
Well, they probably do now, but
to be fair, probably the best they've done, most Americans, is maybe watch Dr. Zhivago, but even now, that's not going to happen because that's too long a movie for people to sit down and watch, isn't it?
yeah, forget about reading Solzhenitsyn.
We did Solzhenitsyn in school for our English.
Well, yeah, I mean, we did
I
books
quite
like
like
1984 and
Solzhenitsyn.
Animal Farm. I don't
Sorry?
think they read those there anymore.
We did Animal Farm as well. I mean, my daughter read Animal Farm when I was homeschooling her.
All kids should have to read Animal Farm. It should still be required reading at schools.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
But they don't want it to be because the pigs are back in control. So let's move on.
The communists, you mean?
I prefer pigs. If you look at Starmer and his cabinet and Lammy, I mean, the word pig describes David Lammy better than any other I can think of.
He's got a piggish look about him.
He really does.
Mr. Creosote just works in so many levels for David Lammy as well.
Pretty soon he's gonna be too fat to get on his private planes.
Right, moving on. Brooklyn Bridge. Brooklyn Bridge takes a hat from Mexico. So Mexican tall chap goes backwards under the Brooklyn Bridge, obviously because it was in some kind of distress. It takes off all three of its masts, I think it knocked all three of them down. And people are starting with the conspiracies already. Accidents fucking happen. They really happen, you know. It's like,
yeah, I mean, there's no conspiracy here.
There's nothing.
There's just a giant balls up.
Yeah, complete balls up.
But it's also the part of the issue with social media is that people will post stuff just to get engagement and just to get likes and just to be the first one to say that Mexico surreptitiously attacking the United States or some nonsense.
And
I mean, people.
yeah.
Some people really need to get a grip.
And to be fair, X is getting worse at this. The amount of engagement farming on it is just ridiculous. I really think, you know, I don't know what exactly Musk is trying to do, but it's going completely in the wrong direction. It's getting to the point where I think it's going to lose the ability to deliver any kind of cogent argument at all about anything.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like the algorithm is currently promoting that stuff, and because those engagement farmers have kind of got their formula down. But it's also, I mean, I spend more time on the following tab rather than the For You tab, which kind of helps because
Do you?
you get less of the. Yeah, you get more stuff from people that you actually follow.
Yeah. That doesn't work for me because the people I follow are all fucking idiots.
Well, yeah, okay. Just insult your Twitter audience, why don't you?
If they can't fit, why not wear it? Shalini, no, they didn't think the boat would fit under the bridge. It wasn't meant to go under the bridge. It went under the bridge backwards. I think we've had some kind of engine or control system failure, and the boat was, I think, driven under the bridge by the current, something like that. Ray says, "Cheers, John. I've got your back, mate. I've got your back." Let's move on. Right, OnlyFans Star Annie Knight Star hospitalized and not doing well after 583 men challenge. So she's letting men go through her like diarrhea, right? This is another one of these stupid OnlyFans people. and then you know it doesn't go well. Yeah, well, what do you expect? She had to stop it after 583. I think she was going for 1,000. But it's stupid.
I think the whole thing, this whole OnlyFans thing it's as much it's leading to the degeneration of the West just as much as the bloody boat people.
This is not empowering women by any stretch of the imagination, people.
It's not. It's taking them backwards.
This is
taking. I mean,
yeah, it's gross.
In fact, so much of what's happening, including the whole trans agenda, is actually taking women's rights back a step, or 10 steps, or 100 steps. I mean,
yep.
I find it really, really, really disturbing.
Indeed. Let's move on. People's heart health in the UK is declining rapidly in a worrying trend. Cardiovascular deaths in working age adults have risen by 18% since 2019, from 18,693 to 21,975 in 2023.
What could be causing that?
Stress. Could be stress.
What about
climate change?
Well, yeah, maybe it's Putin's fault.
Putin. That's it.
Maybe people's heart health is declining because they're all so worried that the Russians are going to invade. I mean, come on. This is just like, doctors are baffled.
Right, okay, so the Sun takes quite a bold headline, pedos to be castrated chemically, right? This is Labour's plan for, what would you say, assuaging the population, you know.
Yeah.
This
is essentially them just trying to appeal to what they think of as the right-wing working class reform voters.
Yeah. So
but they come out with this utterly, I mean, it's disturbing because this is just forced medical procedures. And once you open that door and you get your foot in and they start off castrating prisoners, you're not that far away from that to forced. Yeah, well, you're not that far away from chemical castration to forced vaccination.
Yeah, that's a point. The thing is, this is already available in the UK voluntarily to prisoners in order to get reduced sentences and to get out of jail early. So, you know, doing it mandatory is what? To free up more space in jail so you can lock up more people that post hurty words on social media? Is that what it's
Well,
about?
I'm not a fan of capital punishment, but I have long held the view that anyone who rapes a child forfeits their life, frankly.
But yeah, okay.
Which one?
Right, we'll move on. Not because we don't want to talk about the subject, but because it's YouTube and really we're operating.
I thought
on
I was being bloody careful with the way I phrased it.
Yes, you did, but you used the grape word in its full, unedited version. Yeah, I know. Hey,
Right. Sorry.
don't worry about it. Don't bother. I mean, this
Sorry,
isn't
YouTube.
the horizontal one's not monetized. Hello, Vicky Humble. Evening on the vertical chat. If you really want to get involved in the chat, though, most of the people are on the horizontal chat. There are 2 streams on the channel. If you go to the channel page, you'll see that one says vertical at the very end of the title. That's what you're on, Vicky, and that's what you're on, Bumblebee T. Hello, good to see you. We're getting chat. We're getting chat in the vertical channel. That's good. Maybe one of my moderators could jump in there as well and help out. Oh, there's Jesse. Hello, Jesse. Yeah. Right, Gary Lineker. Well, what do you think of this? Gary Lineker, aka Black Gary, has been forced to resign from the BBC following his anti-Semitic Instagram post. He will not host next year's World Cup coverage. It has been confirmed. Should he or should he not have...
Saying what he posted on Instagram as anti-Semitic is just nonsense.
I know.
In my opinion.
Yeah, I know. I mean, that's...
Again, it's deflection. It's just the BBC will... They're so supine. There's such a lack of morals and humanity and dignity and intelligence and credibility at the BBC that they might as well just close it down, be done with it. It's doing more harm than good at this point.
Having said that, I'm still glad to see the end of Black Gary. Have you seen them Piers Moron these days? He's jumped in now as well.
I watched that horse shit anyway, so I don't care.
But Piers Moran has jumped in now and is now starting to chime in about Lucy, saying that while she did make a horrible statement, she shouldn't be in jail for 31 months. So, just bandwagon jumping again, Piers. He's such a bandwagon jumper.
I have so little time for Piers Moron. What's his name? Piers Morgan. That I mean, he's just one of the most awful people in the country, frankly. I've never met him, but I wouldn't want to either.
And I'd just like to remind people that Lucy was up for an appeal this week on her... Was it an appeal on sentence or conviction?
I think it was appealing the length of her sentence.
Yeah. And it was denied. So there you go.
And I just saw, just before we came on, I read, was it Alison Pearson, I think, posted something that would, because Lucy, having been called a racist by all these vile leftist, just obscene examples of humanity, who were all over this during the weekend, 77th Retard Brigade. But Lucy actually worked. There's a Nigerian doctor who moved to the UK with her family in 2019, and Lucy looked after her daughter.
Yeah.
And actually helped sponsor her immigration application. And this woman trusted Lucy so much that the daughter actually stayed with Lucy overnight. And they've had to move, but the kid was actually, this lady's daughter was actually in the house when the cops came in to arrest Lucy.
Yeah, I
mean,
it's not just
the entire time that Lucy Connelly is in prison. As far as I'm concerned, there is no justice or anything in this country. But the country's a joke.
It's not just at all. Not just. Right. If you hear motorcycles, it's because the bikers are apparently leaving now, which is always good. Where am I now?
Next slide.
Oh, I've seen a couple of things about this. This guy, who was a magistrate, right, and then was taken off the bench because of this picture back in 20, I'm thinking 2014.
He's now mayor of Derby or something, isn't
But
he?
apparently yeah, but this picture was taken way back in 2013, right? And where he was a magistrate, and he was taken off the bench because of this. And now he's been elected mayor of Derby, yeah? But he still refuses to, he will not resign over the picture. Well, you know, I mean, we've all had our picture taken with guns, haven't we? Is it just me?
I haven't. Well, I mean, you're in the police, so
Yeah.
that's one thing. But I don't know. I can't really comment on this without getting myself into trouble. Because
Yeah.
I
tell you what
just
else, the
don't-
guy shouldn't be handling a weapon. Look where his finger is. It's on the trigger.
Exactly.
That's not
Exactly.
He was not been properly trained. Right.
Nope.
Shall we move on? We're ripping through them good because right, this is Sarah Milgram. She worked at the Israeli embassy in Washington. Tonight she left. Well, this was 2 days ago. So tonight she left the Capital Jewish Museum in DC. She was gunned down by a Palestinian act. Well, I don't know. Maybe it was a Palestinian activist. I haven't checked that. She was killed alongside her boyfriend Yaron Listinsky, who had purchased a ring and was planning to propose to her.
I think it's a false flag.
Sorry?
Personally, I think it's a false flag because the one thing it did do was get all of the coverage about Israelis opening fire on Canadian diplomats in the West Bank.
Yeah.
Right out of the news, almost instantaneously.
Well, did they open fire on the diplomats? There were shots fired, that's for sure, but I didn't see anyone go down or anything like that. So,
well, no,
you know,
but they were shooting in that general direction, and then they knew what was there.
So were they winding them up?
Excuses that come out of Tel Aviv can.
You know what the
frankly
Israelis
get
are
in the
like? They're complete and utter assholes when it comes to things like this. You know, they'll shoot over your head to wind you up and stuff like that. But yeah,
they're on another level now. I just think they're monsters.
It's a pretty nasty psyop, though, if that's what they're doing.
Well, that's what they specialize in.
Yeah. Hamza Yousaf,
pages blowing up kids' faces. I mean,
I'm not being drawn into an argument. Hamza Yousaf here was falsely claiming that Israeli actions would kill 14,000 children in 48 hours. Do you think that lie might have caused or contributed to the environment where murder of embassy staff happens? Now, that's David Scott, who used to report on UK Column. I don't know if he still does. That said that. Because that 14,000 children might starve thing isn't in 48 hours. I think it's this year. Even so, I'm not saying it's right. It's far from right. And we've been here before with starving kids. Because UNICEF did point out that it reckoned 500,000 kids were starved to death by the Blair and Bush sanctions. Although they then retracted that after pressure, you know? So apparently it's now 65 kids starved to death. You believe that?
60. That I mean, how? Oh, okay. So it's not 500,000, but it's 65. 65 starving kids is still too bloody many in a world where there's enough food.
Yeah, I know, but there's a vast difference between 65 and 500,000.
Yeah, but I don't trust any of the numbers. I don't trust any of the governments. I don't particularly trust any of the aid agencies either.
So, what I mean, Britmate says if Scott loves Israel so much he can piss off on Scotland and live there. Well, hey, you know what? No matter what you actually like or don't like, if it's your country, surely you're entitled to have an opinion regardless. I mean, you might not like them having that opinion, but that's what free speech is all about, and freedom of thought. Are you saying that we're not allowed freedom of thought? Because we're not allowed freedom of thought, then we are in Minority Report. And actually, there's another story coming up that thinks we maybe are there already.
I mean, ultimately, I think that free speech is for everybody. I don't think people should be cancelled or arrested or persecuted for what they say or what they believe.
Yeah.
And even the thing is that it's also, when you censor people, you don't shut them up. You just put them in a little bubble where their ideas don't get challenged. And
Exactly.
the way to deal with unpleasant ideas is to have them everything out in the court of public opinion and let people decide.
No, I know you didn't say you didn't have the right of free speech, Brit, mate, but what you said was that you should piss off and live in Israel if he likes them that much. But why? This is his
I actually
country.
agree with Brett, mate.
Well, yeah, but okay, fair enough. But why should they piss off and live somewhere else because they don't like, because they like another country? I mean, you like Russia. People probably say you should piss off and go and live in Russia.
Oh, I've had that said to me already.
Oh yeah, yeah. You can't tell people what to like and what not to like, and it's like you said, if you don't allow people to have wrong think, then you're controlling how they think, and that's not right. That's us back in Animal Farm.
I agree, but when you say that someone should piss off and live somewhere else, it's as much an expression of frustration, and it's not necessarily because I don't know. Let's move on. We're just getting into contentious ground here.
Yeah, okay. What was I going to say?
End up saying something gets the channel pulled.
No, I wasn't. I don't. I'll come back to it. Right. So Scotland has a declining birth rate. Many parts of the rest of the United Kingdom have a declining birth rate. We actively need immigration. Britain needs immigration. Britain needs to reject the toxic nature of current immigration discourse. This Scottish MP guy says, why? Why do we need to do that? Because what he's suggesting is we address the symptom and not the problem.
Exactly.
So why
what we need is to have a government and a society that encourages people to have families. I mean, there's plenty of other countries like Hungary and Russia that are putting in measures like income tax relief and all kinds of stuff. We don't need immigrants, and also people who are uneducated come and live on benefits, and they're not contributing to the economy. Except in a bad way.
Yeah.
And they don't contribute to society, really. And I'm not saying that applies to all immigrants, because quite often, one thing that I'm always struck by is quite often some of the loudest people complaining about the immigrants are all first and second generation immigrants themselves who have integrated.
Yeah. Well,
and they complain that
look at America. It was always the Hispanics. The Hispanics hate illegal immigration. And quite rightly so, because if you've done something legally to get somewhere and are working at it, why should someone else be able to come in and take advantage of it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And there are plenty of, I mean, there's plenty of things we've got to be thankful to immigrants for. I mean, curries, Chinese to start with, our cuisine would be a lot less interesting without immigrants. The other thing is being able to get things on Christmas Day, because you can go to a corner shop that's run by people that don't celebrate Christmas. It's great.
Hair removal from your nose. Turkish barbers. Something for the weekend, sir.
Oh dear. Yeah, come on then.
Nice one.
I think just as a last comment on the slide, I think Britain needs to reject the toxic nature of woke nonsense.
Yes, it does, mate. It does. And you know what? We don't need immigration to solve these problems right now, because, there's still time. There's still time for us to turn it around. Why don't we turn it around? Why don't we have a society where, you don't need both parents working in order to be able to afford housing and a reasonable standard of living? Why can't we go back to like the 70s and 80s when you didn't have when the woman didn't have to go out to work while she was raising children?
Sure. I mean, that's partially because our evil overlords wanted the tax take. But there's a great account on Twitter called Moving with Charlie, and he does all things. He's basically in property, and he's got fantastic advice for people who rent and buy and stuff like that. And his basic argument is, if you fix the housing problem that we've got, you can fix pretty much everything else as a result of that.
Why don't we give couples that have 3 kids free houses? That wouldn't cost a lot.
Absolutely.
Yeah, why not? Why not do things?
But there's all sorts of incentives. Instead of having things like breakfast half an hour, where the state gets to take your children off you for an extra half an hour, we should be encouraging what you said, and figure out a way that mum can stay home and look after the kids, and the income that dad takes in is enough for them to have a nice, comfortable life. And I mean, families should be nurtured and looked after, but I don't know. The country's run by complete idiots.
That is run by idiots. Hello, Barabada. Good to see you. No, of course we're not including second disabled people, Emma, because, I mean, and we covered this. I actually covered this on Friday when I had a sick and disabled cripple on, Ben, and I was talking about the fact that we shouldn't be cutting benefits, and I agreed with, was it Diane Abbott? Which is a rare thing. I actually agreed with Diane Abbott. We should not be cutting benefits because it doesn't do anyone any good, and it doesn't save that much money, you know. There are other ways of saving money, like not giving it all to Ukraine might be a starter for 10.
Yeah, I mean, like the disability cuts are cruel and unnecessary, and if we can spaff money on this Chagos Island deals, or fund transsexual, gender critical nonsense in Bangladesh or Thailand or wherever, then
Well,
I mean,
that gender critical or gender non-critical opera was in South America, and I think that was funded by USAID.
I mean, it's the way that disabled people get treated in Britain is disgusting, absolutely disgusting. And the way that it's like, I had my ex had to do a PIP assessment, and I went along to give her moral support in that. And it's so demeaning, and it's absolutely terrifying. I mean, these people live under this cloud of fear that the evil DWP is going to come and take their benefits. I mean, don't even get me started on those wankers.
Yeah, I know. Right, let's move on. We've got plenty to go through. Spain, all the phone networks went down just weeks after a national blackout caused chaos. All this happens minutes after NASA issued a warning about a solar storm. CMEs are expected to hit Earth in 1 to 3 days, but the first wave has already caused communications. I don't think it was a solar storm that caused communication disruptions in Spain. In fact, I think we've actually been through this. Spain's got a shit infrastructure. It's got a shit electric infrastructure. It's got a shit mobile phone infrastructure, and it's fallen apart because it hasn't been invested in. So when it goes wrong, it's catastrophic. It's not rocket science, people.
Yes, but but it's also with the weakening geomagnetic field and ongoing geomagnetic excursion. These sorts of events are going to happen more and more.
And they'll hurt your shit infrastructure before they hurt the ones that aren't. Won't they?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Right, moving on. For some reason, the chat now appears to be talking in Russian. I have no idea what's going on. It's that time of the night when we talk about Ashton. Hey, Ashton. So Ashton Forbes posts, and this had me gobsmacked, right? This really had me gobsmacked. So Ashton Forbes posts a post. Is that right? A tweet. Can we have a conversation about what point this becomes a violation of the targeted harassment rules? Every single post and reply is spamming fake stuff about me. They're quite literally trying to drive people to violence against me using fake accounts, right? Now, just a minute, Ashton. This is the guy who directly threatened Ed Lynn. If he didn't come forward, he would face the consequences. You know, come forward, speak to me, or else, you know. He's also, I mean, Ed Lynn's in hiding. I've called home helpers and they always say he's not in the office. He's probably not in the state. Larry Young, Lynn's lawyer, has changed his phone number. Can't be reached. Sierra Nevada Corporation hasn't said a word about their Gorgon stare technology. The guy is he asked his followers to block phone Sierra Nevada Corporation. They'd take their phones offline. You can't be on both sides. You can't be a victim and a bully. Not simultaneously, because this guy's nuts. He is nuts. And then he's having a go at Ross Coulthart as well, because he's starting to change his mind.
Well, yeah. Unfortunately, some of these people are their own worst enemies.
Yeah.
Have you got Ashton Forbes out of your system now?
Yes, that's my Ashton Forbes vent for the day. Over.
Excellent. I just kept my mouth shut and let you go on with it.
Yeah, I do need to vent about Ashton Forbes. Right. Apparently, Russia has started losing the war in Ukraine. This is quite important. So the military tide may have turned against Putin. So this was published on May the 18th, 2025. So why do they think that? because everything I'm seeing says, Ukraine, the front's fallen, Ukraine's in disarray, people are running away, people are surrendering. It's just falling apart. So why do they think Putin? See, this is the thing, because we're continually told Putin is losing the war in Ukraine, but Europe's next. How does that's cognitive dissonance, surely?
Well, it's cognitive dissonance. It's doublethink.
Yeah.
If we think about it in Orwellian terms. And it's copium. I mean, copium is a great word for it, because they just it's. I mean, apart from anything else, these idiots are probably getting their information from Ukrainians, who I mean, the Ukrainians will tell them whatever Zelensky's latest cocaine binge fantasy nonsense comes out. I mean, it's just they're not. If anyone listening thinks that Russia started losing the war in Ukraine, they aren't. In fact, they're more on the verge of winning it than they ever have been. And I would not want to be the Ukrainians once the Russians start targeting, because the Ukrainians have been sending, I think yesterday or the day before, they sent 485 drones at Moscow, all of which were shot down. Now, the Russian response to that is not going to be pleasant.
No, it won't. It won't. Speaking of response,
and on the one on the right, you missed the best bit.
I'm just about to.
Kallas wanted to talk about Cuba, but she has no idea about anything, and I expect to gain more knowledge by a conversation with my hamster.
Yeah, about quantum physics.
That was one of the funniest things I've seen on Twitter all week.
Yeah, look at her face.
Honestly,
look at her face.
Yeah, you've got to go and find this video, guys, and watch it, because it alternates between the guy speaking and the subtitles, and Kaka's face, and she looks like she's just chewing on lemons.
She looks like she's chewing a wasp.
Oh,
that's what she looks
there's another
like.
story that I saw, that the Europeans are. I think they made a mistake because she's useless.
No shit.
Oh dear, she's just.
Yeah. Right, you give me this one. In Madrid, our close friend, lawyer, and human rights defender Andrei Portnov was brutally murdered. Long-time opponent of the Zelensky regime and dictatorship, stood up for human rights, fought against injustice, lies, and repression. But apparently, he was taken out in the middle of the day in Spain, in Madrid, in broad daylight.
And he was really quiet. I mean, he wasn't someone that I'd even heard of before.
Yeah.
And he was probably doing stuff behind the scenes and had his contacts and stuff. But it was also the trauma that's something that none of the European media are talking about. Is he just dropped his kids off to school? Literally. I mean, I just despair at the kind of people that British people are supposed to call allies. I mean, honestly, you want to. I think it's disgusting, but it's also, they're desperate. They're lashing out wherever they can, because they're losing, and they think that something like this is going to stop them losing. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, that is ridiculous, mate. It's completely ridiculous. Speaking of ridiculous, ex-Congo PM jailed for stealing farm money while people starved. The Democratic Republic of Congo's former PM just got slapped with 10 years of hard labour for borrowing, it was just resting in my account, $245 million from a giant farming project meant to feed millions. So the plan was to build one of Africa's biggest food parks. What happened? The cash disappeared. The crops never showed up, and now 28 million people are still hungry. Matata says it's all politics. The court says enjoy your hard labour and no public office for 5 years. Why would he even be allowed back in public office ever again?
I know. I mean, this is it's stories that like this that make me think that people like Ibrahim Traore in Burkina Faso, who's now being demonized by the Western media as some sort of dictator because he's actually trying to help his country.
Was this the guy that took over from the one that died? Suddenly?
Traore?
No.
Well, this guy.
Oh, no, I'm thinking of something else. Right, carry on.
Well, no, because Traore in Burkina Faso was a coup.
Yeah,
But since he's come into power, I mean, he's done pretty much everything he's doing is trying to help his own people. I mean, he's
but that's the rare beast. That's the rare beast.
Unfortunately, it is. I just hope he stays safe because he's a wonderful model for other African leaders. And I mean, the countries around them, like Mali and Chad and places like that, they're all kind of looking at Burkina Faso thinking this is the way to do it. But unfortunately, Africa has been cursed with particularly bad leadership. And the Congo, I mean, ever since, oh Christ, what was his name? I can't remember. Basically, he said, because Congo used to be called Zaire when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And it's one of those places that it has an awful history. It was colonized by the Belgians. And it was essentially King Leopold II's personal playground.
Yeah.
And he treated it like his own fiefdom. And I mean, but it's good. I mean, if they're sorting their justice system out and they're locking people up like this, then that's good.
Yeah, but
and I wouldn't, just for the record, I would not want to do 5 years hard labor in a Congolese prison.
Yeah, just for Vicky does say 10 years for all that cash. Does seem a bit short though. It does.
Well, try 5 years in a Congolese prison.
Yeah, well, okay. There's been a terror. Here's one for you in your neck of the woods. This happened earlier on this week. A terrorist attack in Hoofddorp. I don't know how to pronounce that. Did I say that wrong?
Hoofddorp.
What?
Hoofddorp.
Hoofddorp. Yeah, okay.
Hoof means head, dorp means village.
Okay. Multiple people jabbed, 2 deceased. Just another day in the EU.
And the same thing, I mean, there was another stabbing in Germany.
Yeah.
Today.
Yeah. Shocking.
I mean, the EU is falling apart. Europe is descending into a really bad place. And the politicians don't care. And the people seem to be so, I mean, as soon as the people do something about it, the state comes out and starts fighting them. I mean, the police they're nowhere to be seen when stuff like this is going on.
Yeah.
But as soon as you get a protest against it, they come out and start cracking skulls.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, isn't it? Pretty crazy. Damn crazy. Right. Standing airplane seats. Which and who do you think's a great favourite of this? That absolute asshole O'Leary, right? So standing airplane seats, which can increase passenger capacity by 20%, may be unveiled in 2026, according to the Daily Mail. Have you seen them? They look ridiculous.
They're trying to make flying so uncomfortable so people don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah,
I mean, O'Leary and Ryanair, they love stuff like this because they can just make more money.
Oh, yeah.
And they already treat their passengers like cattle. I refuse to fly Ryanair. I mean, if Ryanair is the only option, then I don't go somewhere.
I will not fly Ryanair. I hate Ryanair.
It's dreadful. Every time I've been on Ryanair, it was an awful experience.
Yeah, I'd rather pay slightly more and be insulted by EasyJet than Ryanair. Right,
absolutely.
moving on. 650-year-old drum tower collapses in eastern China. This is just typical of China. They never build anything to last, do they? So,
Except the Great Wall.
and to think, remember, the Great Wall was built to keep people, or to keep something in, not out. Anyway, 600. This
Well, it survived 650 years.
it didn't.
So, I mean,
It didn't totally collapse either. See the edge at the bottom. See the edge thing. It's the edges that have fallen off. The whole thing's still standing. It was just the edges that fell off. I mean, okay, it was impressive, and you wouldn't want to be there when it happened, but you certainly wouldn't want to be under it. But yeah, just another example of shoddy Chinese workmanship. Right, we aren't even at the funnies yet. Right, and speaking of funny, Tommy Robinson.
But I was thinking that when I was doing my bookmarks this week, that the world is so insane. It's getting really hard to tell the difference between the funnies and the serious stories.
Look at the chat. See, this is what we're up against, mate. Robin is a complete and utter conspiracist. Conspiracist. Nah, not thermite. More like termites, mate. More like termites. Anyway, Tommy Robinson, charged with harassment causing fear and violence against two men. 42-year-olds from Luton will appear at Westminster Magistrates Court on 5th of June 2025. He will be. Will he still be released, or will he be subject to gate arrest and remanded? Pardon me. They really.
I don't.
They don't want this guy out, do they?
No, I mean, I don't. Somehow, I'm in two minds about Tommy Robinson, because I've seen interviews with him. Gareth Icke did a really good interview with him. One of my big problems with him is a massive supporter of Israel, which for me is a red flag.
He's what?
Is a massive supporter of Israel.
Yeah, okay.
Which
some people
I
are,
think
some
is a
people
red
aren't.
flag. But
yeah.
At the same time, the state, by doing all of this to him, they just pile more attention on him.
Yeah, no.
And they make him more of a figurehead. And for a disaffected, pissed off population, people like Tommy Robinson is going to be attractive to a segment of the community which is completely pissed off. And maybe that's part of it. But he's also being, just on a human level, he's being utterly persecuted.
Oh, yeah, he is.
And I don't think that's fair. I mean, he
did demonstrate. He brought out the grooming gangs thing, and ever since then, the guy has been a target for the government.
That's a good point, Emma. Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
Let's move on. Man gets 5 years for holding the wrong views. So this far right chap, and you brought this one to my attention, and I thank you for it, because this far right chap, and that's his bedroom, stays with his mum, right? Far right people.
Has he got
always
Enid
have
Blyton books on the wall?
Sorry?
Those Enid Blyton books on his shelf.
and a giant donut pillow, right? But and that's a replica firearm. It's an authorised replica. He wasn't charged with any offences. In fact, he wasn't really charged with any offences at all, apart from a breach of the Terrorism Act, in that he had information that terrorists could use. But the three things he had were 3 books that you can go out today and buy on Amazon, and one of them is Mein Kampf by our favourite Austrian painter. Right? So none of the material had was illegal. None of it is censored or unavailable. It's freely available to buy on Amazon. But because he had those 3 things and had other things that made him definitely a far right, potential, he was found guilty and sentenced to 5 years for basically wrong think. Your thinking's not quite along the way of the straight and narrow, so you will do 5 years in prison. This guy is going to come out a psychopath when he comes out of prison.
Well, yeah. Or, I mean, it's
not going to help him.
No, it's not going to help them at all. It's not going to help society.
No.
And this is just scare tactics. It's the same reason that Lucy Connelly is still in prison.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going after the people who do bad things on the streets with large knives and stuff.
No, of course not.
Because they're not a threat to the system.
Exactly.
People like Lucy Connelly and
this guy's not a threat to anyone, though.
Well, no, but they like making examples and they like the low-hanging fruit.
Yeah, this is frightening. This is frightening. This
It
could
really
be
is.
anyone.
Well, no, Britain is turning into a very scary place now.
Yeah, this is not right. This is a complete overreach of the judicial system, which is already, in my view, totally fucking corrupt. The government are out of control here. The judicial system's out of control, and the police aren't reining them in. This needs to be stopped, and it needs people to stand up and be counted.
And we can
do not do anything stupid. Do not do anything stupid.
No.
Right.
Don't do anything stupid, and watch what you say, but within the boundaries of what you can say, there's still plenty that you can say. You just have to be careful.
Mm-hmm. Right. Atlanta's been in the news this week because it has now become a non-majority black city, apparently. Right? Because at one point it was 60% black and 40% white, and it's really dropped down, and now the blacks are in the minority. But they're still accounting for 96% of the homicides. That's scary.
Yeah, I mean,
that's scary.
America seems more broken than Britain.
But it doesn't matter where you go, because the same thing applies here, and people don't understand. There's certain groups of society that don't understand that although 6% of the population comes from a certain country, and shall we say not the Far East, the Middle East, that starts with a P, they make up 46% of the prison population. Wow.
I mean, if you look at if you took Britain 60 years ago, and you look at the crime rate and the sorts of, I mean, this is why we've been able to have unarmed police, for crying out loud. I mean, back in the 1920s and 30s, if a murder happened in a outside of London, the local police would call the Scotland Yard, and they actually send a detective from London, because stuff like that was so rare that the local police just dealt with drunk people in pubs and the kind of minor petty stuff.
Having said that, in the 20s and 30s, you could choose to draw a firearm or a cutlass when you went on night duty as a police officer. Did you know that?
Mm-hmm. And a lot more people were actually armed. Yeah.
Right. Let's get going again. What are we on now? There's my mouse. There it's. Right. 2 police officers been arrested for tasering and pepper spraying a 92-year-old man in a care home who subsequently died, I believe, 2 weeks later.
So this guy was a COVID death.
Yes, it was marked as a COVID death. Yeah. But
this made me so angry.
This guy, and he's holding a knife in his hand. I think it's a knife, right? But he's 92 years old. He's disabled. He's in a care home. Police were called, and it took them less than 90 seconds to start pepper spraying him, and they tasered him.
People, I mean, every single police officer that was involved in that should be in prison, in my opinion.
That's just
weird. I mean, it's...
What were they thinking? What were these cops thinking?
I don't think they were. The problem with them is they don't think. They're all idiots. They're basically order followers.
Yeah. I think you're right, because
people like you are not allowed in the police anymore, John.
No, showing initiative is obviously going to get frowned upon. It got me frowned upon as well at one point, because I get pulled up.
But it was also the height of the COVID idiocy as well.
Yeah.
I mean, people there was a descent into retardation on a level that I didn't even think was possible.
Yeah, you're right. Right, migrant boat crossing English Channel forces. Well, it wasn't quite a migrant boat. I think it was escorted by Border Patrol, and they asked for a 1 mile clearance, and so they diverted the little ship's flotilla. This is just irony on the fucking grandest scale you could ever think about, isn't it?
Yeah, we need a little clip of Alanis Morissette going, "Isn't it ironic?"
Yeah,
you can press a button and it just plays that when a story like this comes up. I mean, it's just so it's so emblematic of where Britain is in 2025 that I couldn't. You actually couldn't think of a more appropriate story. And it also just goes. I mean, it just goes to show you just how each successive week in 2025 has been orders of magnitude more bonkers than the previous week.
You know what? We're doing well, mate, because that's just after 10 o'clock and we're just over halfway.
Excellent.
So we'll be all right, I think. We'll be all right.
Yeah, we've been making good progress.
So Barry Soonis posted this after last Saturday's party. Party by Celtic fans after they won the league. Celtic fans have destroyed Glasgow City Centre. Some of the videos I've seen are terrifying. Stay safe. I did reply to them saying, "You don't go to Glasgow much, do you, mate?"
People are such pussies now. It's ridiculous.
They truly are. But it's a bit of fucking litter. And the next morning, the paper, I should have clipped it, but the paper had a picture of one single broken traffic light. You know, one of the lights in the traffic light had been turned so that you couldn't see the light. One single broken traffic light, and it said, after last night's disgraceful behaviour by Celtic fans, the traffic lights at Morningside Cross are not working. So it wasn't Morningside, it was
mental.
Trongate.
I mean, it's like when Fatboy Slim played on Brighton Beach.
This is just ridiculous. I mean, it must have been a slow Saturday for news, yeah. Speaking of a slow Saturday, Estonia's Air Force, we've used this picture before, to be fair, but Estonia's Air Force out in training, hanging in there against the Russian offenders. Right, this next one is freaking frightening. So I'm holding off and putting it up because I don't want. We've got quite an audience. We've gathered an audience here, and I don't want to put them off too quickly. So I'm going to paint a picture. So people who are in favour of trans rights in America that feel they're being persecuted because of the government's stance there, have put a huge flag on El Capitan. You know the big mountain thing. Remember they used it in Star Trek? Kirk was climbing it and fell off it or whatever, right? Or was it Kirk or was it Spock? One of them was.
No, Kirk was climbing it.
Yeah, and Spock come
Spock
up.
had some cool jet boots or anti-gravity boots or whatever. And he went up and then yeah.
He thought he was in Back to the Future.
Yeah, no, I mean, but unfortunately, Captain Kirk let his Zen get disrupted by Spock, and he ended up falling. So Spock had to catch.
So this is one of the park rangers.
Just
that's frightening, mate.
I mean, that is genuinely terrifying. I mean, that would be more scary if you were out in the backwoods in America and you saw that. You'd be more terrified than if you'd seen Bigfoot.
Did you ever read the Dandy? You know the comic. Never read Desperate Dan. Look at that chin. I want myself a cow pie.
Just it's yeah. The world is serious.
That would scare the bears, Vicky. You're right. Right, and then a more sober note. Black children are more likely to drown in pools, study shows. Black children ages 5 to 19 drown in swimming pools at a rate more than 5 times that of white children. What's racist here?
Swimming pools are racist.
I don't know. I mean, what is it? I was thinking of starting some kind of charity to build more swimming pools and teach black children how to swim. Is this, and I mean, call me racist if you like, but is this to do with, like race memory, going back and not going in water because crocodiles and hippos are going to eat you? So you never learn to swim? I'm just putting it out there.
Possibly more likely that they potentially live in disadvantaged areas that don't have swimming pools.
What, like London?
Parts of London.
Okay. Right.
I don't know. I mean, it's. I didn't actually see that story. I mean, it's NBC News, so they're talking about the US, not the UK.
Yeah, I know. Right. Okay. I just thought it was an interesting one. Right. Maybe it's the lifeguards that are racist. Maybe they don't save them.
Let's change the slide before you get us into even more trouble.
Germany is building a 29 million. This is going to go.
Did they not see what happened to the time the Indians tried it and the whole thing ended up on the beach after one storm?
I've seen 2 floating megawatt solar farms that have ended up in complete and utter disaster now. One was in India and one was somewhere else. I think one was in China.
But it's like there's this breakage of brains in Germany.
So Elon Musk posted
like German politicians, their brains are just broken.
Yeah, Elon Musk posted a tweet today saying it's a no-brainer. Solar power is the way to go forward. Even if you have a grasp of elementary mathematics, it's the way forward. And I'm like, okay, Elon, right? So solar power has improved from 12% to 33% efficiency since 1896. 1896.
And it should be pointed out that El Musco.
Can I finish?
One of the things. Yeah, sorry, I'll shut up.
So solar power has gone from 12 to 33% efficiency since 1896. Gas power stations, right, are 65% efficient. They're cheaper, and they're actually cleaner to burn than it's cleaner to burn gas than it is to make solar panels. And then that's not even mentioning nuclear power, which is 96% efficient. So, as I simply said, is that elementary enough, Elon?
Solar panels also catch fire at an alarming rate, which was evidenced by a recent hospital fire in the UK a few days ago.
Yeah, no.
But it should be pointed out that one of the many products that Musk sells is Tesla Powerwalls, which allow you to have a nice giant-sized lithium battery stuck to the side of your house that your solar panels connect to, and that you run the risk of the bloody thing incinerating you while you sleep.
Possibility, yeah. Sharon Osbourne, I think, is trying out for the Thunderbirds. Look at the state of that. That's Ozempic face.
Yeah, apparently she really regrets it.
Yeah, that's not a good look. And apparently she can't put weight on now, even though she's been off it for a couple of years. She can't put weight on.
Well, this is. I mean,
what does it
honestly,
do?
People need to stop trusting Big Pharma.
What does it actually do?
I don't know. I just know that. I mean, if something is too good to be true, it always is.
Yeah. Well, so the next one I actually do need that button, don't I? I need that ironic button. CNN does an interview. Sometimes we eat, sometimes we don't. Some families are struggling to eat during this time of recession. do people not understand that fat is stored food? You know, that's really all it is. It's a stored food supply that your body uses in times of famine or when things are hard. So you can't say you're ever going to starve when you're that size.
No, but I mean, it does speak to a larger economic malaise.
Yeah.
But
But they should have
it,
picked
it,
somebody skinny for that
it's,
advert, shouldn't they?
I mean, but it's CNN, and
Yeah.
it's like
I can't
it's
even
like
call that a
the
news
retarded.
article.
It's like the retarded news network. They should change their name to RNN.
Yeah, they should. They should. Right, moving on. We're back to Haiti. So apparently, despite having abundant seafood in their waters, the Haitians eat mud cakes. Now, apparently, this comes from Africa as well. Literally, mud dried in the sun. Not only that, the women who make them buy dirt from dirt farmers. And as the women cannot afford the dirt up front, they finance the dirt. And if they don't sell enough mud cakes, they then are in debt to the dirt farmers. This is nuts.
It's. I mean, Haiti is unfortunately a basket case, but they've never been allowed to develop properly. I mean, when they had the earthquake, which was a bloody suspicious earthquake, and if you look at the money that all of these charities raised, including the Clinton Foundation, none of the money ended up back in Haiti.
No, I know. It
Um,
was all. It's all a money
and
laundering
it's
scheme.
yeah, I mean, it just shows you how unbelievably poor the place is. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel for the
They even
Haitians
have.
because they.
They even have dirt in the supermarkets. Red dirt, black dirt, all edible dirt.
Yeah,
This is nuts.
it's,
Right, this
it,
is yours. This is one of yours. Who is this? Who's Lucas anyway? Or is that what is Lucas? Lucas's new campaign, Let's Be Blunt, aims to raise social awareness of safer tip knife. This is fucking nuts. You can't bone a chicken with a blunted tip knife.
it's yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think this might be connected. It's essentially connected to stabbing, and
Yeah,
it's some campaign, and the media have fixated on this person, and it's just like Starmer blaming Amazon for
well, yeah, this is the same thing. You
knives.
know, kitchen knives shouldn't have pointed tips on them. What?
But you can't. I mean, ask the chefs would be going nuts
You can't
because
prepare food without a point on your
no.
knife.
I mean, the whole thing. But it's not just the one of the reasons I sent it to you because it's not just about how absurd the story itself is, but it's the fact that this is even a story. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like absurdity squared or cubed. I mean, it just this is
Absurdity to
how
the
stupid
nth
the UK is
degree.
now. It's literally just breathtakingly idiotic.
Yeah, it is. Right, moving on. AI beauty contest was judged by AI and the robots didn't like dark skin. And it's actually the Guardian, not the Grondian or whatever it's called. And then CNN CNN does a classic. Have you ever noticed the popularity of white robots? The reason for these shades of technological white may be racism, according to new research. And Ken makes a valid point here. Now imagine spray painting the robots black. CNN headline becomes owning black robots may be a sign of being pro-slavery.
It's absurd. The whole thing. I mean, it's crazy, but also what these robots are now actually able to do. They're starting to the capabilities are starting to grow by the day. And I swear to God, the people making these things have not spent enough time watching dystopian robot movies.
Yeah, that one with Will Smith, what was that called?
iRobot,
Yeah, they really need to have a look at that one as well.
Terminator.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, even Lost in Space, because that idiot robot in Lost in Space goes crazy a few times.
Well, did you see the one in China that went nuts and tried to kill its operators?
I don't think it was trying to kill its operators. I don't know what it was trying to do, but yeah, the problem is that when you have something with arms and legs flailing around, you want to make sure that the computer is controlling it properly.
Yeah. Right, we'll move on. So the gratuitous picture of two red pandas for absolutely no reason whatsoever, except they're so freaking adorable, aren't they? So red pandas do this when they feel threatened to make themselves big and scary.
But what's interesting is that genealogically they're not actually connected to pandas.
No, I know.
I think they're really what else?
You always bring things down, mate, don't you?
Well, but they are super cute.
Oh, that other I don't think that other slide should be in there. That's quite funny. That
No, Gibson called me an oven dodger. Oh dear.
Right, moving on. We're getting there. We've only got about 12 slides left, I think. So somebody posts this. Somebody posts this and goes, "How can you eat those precious creatures?" It's like the comment section is just incredible. I mean, I must admit, I myself just added a simple with the red wine jus. But some of the other examples were like, steak, sausages, venison stew. I mean, it was like a smorgasbord of how to eat a deer.
Well, there was a post by PETA who were talking about how it's cruel to eat fish, and then Greg, who's quite a famous Twitterer, who just has some really dry, brilliant replies sometimes, and he posted, "So how come fish can eat fish, but I can't eat fish?"
Yeah.
I mean, ultimately, it's a cycle of life. It's like, oh, yeah, Mother Nature. Have you seen what a pack of lions would do to that thing? I mean,
yeah. Yeah, I do. Right, okay, let's move on. Keir Starmer, for too long, Britain has been addicted to cheap overseas labour, while 1 in 8 of our own young people aren't in education, employment or training. I'm putting our young people first, investing in skills they need and ending our dependence on foreign labour. Neil.
So why didn't you use a British rent boy instead of a Ukrainian one? Might have saved you the bother of getting the fire brigade out as well.
Boom. Booyah,
this one won Twitter. Literally, this is it. It's stuff like this. That's the reason I stay on Twitter, because you don't see this on Facebook.
It feels like Starmer is racing against time to destroy the UK. He went from Enoch Powell to an EU filleting Chinese lapdog in a week. He did.
Yeah.
Almost like there was something in the news that he was worried about. Something that might foreshorten his tenure.
To be firebombed by one rent boy, Sir Keir, may be regarded as misfortune. To be firebombed by 2 looks like gayness.
And 3, well, looks a lot like a misuse of position.
Oh, they must have. He must have some of the most gigantic skeletons in his closet. If you actually look at the stuff that he's done and the awful people that he's supported over his career.
He was a lawyer.
Yeah.
The legal profession is this is rampant in the legal profession. Any lawyers out there, you'll back me up. This is rampant in the legal profession.
It's it's just a very creepy, disturbing individual.
Now to Poland, which is getting invaded.
Putin's weaponized cucumbers.
Can someone explain to me how it's a problem for the entire EU?
Well, because Russian anything seems to be a problem for the EU, but it's the hysterical nature of it that it's just, and it probably just means that they'll get rid of the Russian cucumbers and then they'll have to spend 5 times the amount of money on their cucumbers.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's so absurd. And did you see that? I don't know if we've got a slide for it, but did you see the story about Merz, the new Chancellor of Germany, asking the EU to sanction Nord Stream?
No, I did not.
Because the Americans, because El Trumpo has talked to Putin about the Americans getting involved in Nord Stream. And so this has got all the Europeans all up in arms about it. So the German Chancellor wants the EU to sanction cheap gas from Russia, the lack of which is basically killing the German economy. You couldn't make it up if you tried.
I was going to say, doesn't the Nord Stream bring gas into Germany?
Exactly. And it's not, because Nord Stream 2, the thing is that there's still a pipe that's been shut down by the Germans.
Yeah.
That could still pump nice cheap Russian gas into German industry. But the Germans,
well, it's like us. It's like us. We're surrounded by hydrocarbons. We're floating on a sea of hydrocarbons, and we won't touch them. Instead, we're covering our farmland in solar panels, and we're putting up bird-killing wind turbines that catch fire and don't last their expected 20 years of serviceable life, as well as need diesel generators to keep them turning in the cold.
And we're importing gas from Norway, who's getting it from the same fields that straddle both territories that we could actually be exploiting ourselves. And the only reason they don't do it is so that they can do accounting tricks and claim that we're hitting net zero when we're just exporting all of our bloody emissions elsewhere. It's just fundamentally dishonest, hypocritical, stupid, clownish, and idiotic.
If it's cap and trade, it's not a problem. It's just a money laundering scheme.
I mean, and it's national suicide. It really is. And
crazy. Right, moving on. This is a classic. A halal butcher in Zurich, Switzerland has sold 3.1 tons of pork labelled as veal to Muslim customers who haven't noticed any difference for 3 years. That's classic.
I thought that one would tickle you.
That's a classic.
I mean, but again, it's just it's emblematic of where the world is at.
So someone posts a tweet underneath it saying, "I'm a vegan and don't eat meat."
Oh yeah, that's the one thing you know about vegans is you'll always know they're vegan.
Yeah, I'm a vegan and I don't eat meat. But if you did eat meat, wouldn't you be able to tell the difference between pork and veal? And I replied, well, if you've never tasted pork, you'd probably think this is really good veal. Because veal's really bland. It's not like beef, it's more like chicken.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway,
that's because it's basically white meat, which is why
exactly. This my man is inspired thinking. Toronto burger shop called Good Fortune Burger renamed its menu items to sound like office supplies, helping remote workers potentially expense meals through work accounts. The basic steel stapler and the braided HDMI cord are very popular.
Oh, the chips. USB wired mouse.
I'd like
silicone
I quite fancy an ergonomic aluminium laptop stand at £12.
I have to say, they're really tasty looking burgers as well.
They look fantastic.
But I mean, just whoever runs that restaurant needs to get some sort of Nobel Prize for amusement.
Yeah. Absolutely brilliant.
That's just genius.
So, fire brigade gets called out to a truck on fire. and just turn up at the same time as a water truck passing by goes, "Hey boys, hold my beer." Look at that. He puts it out in like one dose. Boom. You know those trucks that spray water in the streets in America?
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, why don't the fire service have one of these on call for fires like this? Because look how quickly you just dump that out. And then when the fireman turns up, by the time the fireman got his hose out, the fire was gone.
Well, I think with all these lithium battery fires that we keep seeing everywhere, they might have to reconsider. Although I don't think water will put out a lithium battery fire.
No, it just appears to be a van. That's
Yeah,
caught
no, I think
fire.
it's a food truck.
Yeah, it could be.
I think it was a food truck that caught fire.
Yeah, it could be.
If memory serves.
Right, moving on. Liz Kershaw. When you order sardines in a restaurant in France, you don't expect them to come in a tin.
That's poor showing for the French.
Yeah.
I mean, unless it's some sort of marketing gimmick.
I don't know, because I don't know, but I did actually reply to her saying, "But you ate them."
Well, it's also, she's not showing us the lid, because if the lid is, because it could be just a wacky presentation idea from the restaurant where they cook it up and can it and then serve it up on a plate. I mean, I saw a video of a restaurant that they had the sushi in this book.
Yeah.
And the waiter brings the book out, and then there's a piece of flammable paper, like touch paper,
Right,
over the top, and he sets fire to it, and it opens it up, and then the whole thing burns. The paper just burns off the top, and you have this lovely looking plate of food underneath. I mean, it might just be a presentational thing, but if the can has the name of the restaurant on it, then that's one thing. If the can says Aldi special sardines,
yeah, well, that's
then
true.
that's a whole other thing.
That's true. Okay, I'll let you off with it.
You need a button. Hello, button. What? That's true. Button. Hello.
That's true. Sorry, I'm slacking. Right. Barabbas says the slice of lemon. Now, there's a good point. Do you know what the slice of lemon's for with a fish dish?
I have no idea, actually.
Because it's not to flavour the food.
I thought fish tastes better with lemon.
Well, it does taste better with lemon, but the lemon's not there primarily to flavour the food. The lemon is there in case you get a bone stuck in your throat, and you put the lemon in your mouth and go, and it dislodges the bone, because once you know what it's like when you take a snort of lemon juice.
Holy shit. I was raised by a hotel manager and I never knew that.
Everybody's been doing it wrong all these years.
I'm going to have to, I'm actually suspicious. I'm going to have to, when the show's over, I'm going to ask Grok if you're actually talking truth.
Yeah, I think this is more likely to have been a stronger drug, but it's humorous. Never mind the rest, is it?
Yeah, I've seen that one before. It's funny.
Yeah. Right, moving on. How that one friend looks at you every time one of their conspiracy theories plays out exactly how they.
Yeah, that's pretty much the look.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh dear, but the thing is that half the time they still won't accept it.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Even when it plays, even when you've pretty much gotten it right from beginning to end, they are still so wrapped up in their narrative, and they're still so wrapped up in you being a conspiracy theorist, that they still won't throw you a bone. I mean, it's really depressing. You would think that when you actually get proved right, you get a little bit of. I'm not saying give me a medal or something, but
yeah,
but just an acknowledgement that you actually did get it right.
Moving on. Starmer looked in his element amongst all these Ukrainian sailors.
On the other side, okay, maybe this is just me being paranoid, but is it really sensible to have the entire crew of one of your nuclear missile submarines photographed by the press all in one thing, considering that nefarious actors could use fake facial recognition to track them down, track their families down, kidnap family members, hold them hostage, make the person do things that they wouldn't otherwise do. And then just Starmer just looks so
Gay.
He really does. He really does.
So apparently, I don't think this is a made-up story at all. I think it's right.
It's not. This should be headline news in everywhere. I mean, there is literally, yeah. We've got no water either, so.
I've got three slides left. I'm not quite sure how to approach them.
Right.
I'll tell you what I'll do. I'm going to put this one first, right? This is classic for the nerds out there amongst us. Happy 25th birthday, Linux. Here's your fucking cake. Go ahead and compile it yourself.
And as a Linux head pointed out to me the other day, oh, that's just reminded me. My dear brother told me to say hello to all of my listeners. So hello from my brother. And I completely forgot that at the beginning of the show. And somehow
what's your brother's
Linux
name?
Is, Jan.
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 Is that like the Dutch version of John?
Yes.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Okay. That's
He's
right.
named after my Dutch grandpa.
Okay.
My opa. But yeah, as a Linux head pointed out to me the other day, it's not actually like this anymore. You can download a distro of Linux that'll look just and feel just like Windows, apart from the fact
but it's not as funny.
It's not. No, it's not as funny. And it's also nerd funny.
Yeah, it's just typical of a Linux head to point that out to you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But if you laughed at this, then you're probably a nerd.
Yeah. I'm going to put this one second last. McDonald's. This is a classic. We're not saying we're upset, but if one more customer orders a Whopper at the drive-thru, we might just grill it out of spite. And no, Karen, we still don't have onion rings. Never did, never will. We're loving it. Barely. Burger King. Oops, our bad. Our fans just expect flame grilled excellence everywhere. Can't blame them for trying. KFC. We feel for you. Someone asked us for a Big Mac last week. We offered them a bucket of disappointment instead. Wendy's. Y'all crying over Whoppers? We're still recovering from someone asking us if we're just fancy McDonald's. And to top it off, Taco Bell. At least no one thinks you're a pharmacy. We've had people complain about diarrhea at the counter.
Oh dear.
I've never eaten a Taco Bell.
The problem is that, well, even more amusing is that these companies' social media are probably being run by the same marketing agency.
Yeah.
And you just have two people who got drunk late at night that happen to have access to all of their accounts.
That is good though. But yeah, I've never eaten Taco Bell. I feel I should at some point.
Well, we had one open up. The first time I had Taco Bell opened up here a good few years ago now. And if you haven't had Taco Bell, then it's an experience. But to be honest, you're probably better off just getting a pack of mince and some old El Paso shells and some fresh lettuce and tomatoes and salsa and making them yourself at home.
There's a Taco Bell.
Because also, I mean, the thing is that Taco Bell, it's like, oh yeah, I'm really going to buy 2 tacos. If I do the old El Paso thing, I can eat at least 4 or 5 of the bloody things. But they also, I mean, they do burritos and quesadillas and other stuff. If you haven't tried it and you like Mexican food, it's worth trying. Just to say that you.
Oh, I've tried Mexican food. I've just never had a Taco Bell. I mean, I feel that if watching Demolition Man, where Taco Bell is the only restaurant left, I feel that you really should try Taco Bell at some point. And
Well,
yes,
you're probably gonna.
there's even Taco Bell up here, Ricky, in the darkest depths of Scotland.
Have you ever tried a Wendy's square burger?
Yeah, I love Wendy's. Wendy's, I rate Wendy's. Wendy's are better than the rest. I would go for Wendy's above.
We have one down here called Uncle Sam's, and that's my one of choice.
Dairy Queen is not good. I don't like Dairy Queen. But Wendy's, yeah, I would definitely I'd definitely rate. I don't know what it's like now because it was a long time ago when I had them, but Wendy's were definitely good, and Popeyes was way better than KFC when it came to chicken.
Yeah, Slim's chicken is better than Popeyes.
Slim's chicken. Never heard of it.
Slim's. They opened up down here not that long ago.
Yeah,
it's Nectarita's and I's favourite.
it's kind of ironic. Two fat guys going to Slim's. Anyway, sorry.
I'll have you know that Nectarita's is not fat.
Oh, right, okay. Can I interest you in some magical penis wine?
Yeah, well, how do you find these things?
Because I'm not on the following tab.
But are we sure that because obviously there's 3 Chinese symbols, is this not just a mistranslation of Chinese?
I don't know, but in France you could buy old cock whiskey.
Or is it made with tiger penis?
Because
don't the Chinese have a thing for tiger penises?
They have a thing for loads and loads of different stuff. But I'm not quite sure if it's to make your penis magical or it was made with a magical penis. I'm hoping it would be to make your penis magical because
wine generally doesn't make penises magical.
It says it's produced under the supervision of the Beijing Medical University.
Okay, that's actually really disturbing. I'm kind of perturbed by this now. What the hell? What is? Okay, so Beijing Medical University is supervising the production of magical penis wine.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Is that hang on a minute. Let's just see if this is actually a thing.
What, magical penis? It's a picture.
Yeah,
that's real.
Well, I know. I want to actually see if this is not just you photoshopping things.
What? Photoshopping stuff.
Actually, okay, so magical penis wine is a Chinese red wine produced by the Magical Penis Winery in China. It's part of the traditional Chinese medicine practices and is believed to enhance health. The wine is made from animal penises and is intended to have aphrodisiac properties. The wine has gained attention due to its unusual name and ingredients, leading to discussions and jokes online. It is available for purchase on various wine platforms and has been reviewed by wine enthusiasts.
See, there you go.
No, hang on. No, it gets better. There's also a song called Magical Penis Wine by the band Autoimmune, which was released in 2022. The wine's name and concept have been discussed in academic circles, highlighting the translation and cultural implications of such products. Oh, dear. So, yeah, it's an aphrodisiac wine made of animal penises.
And
they don't say what animals, though.
I don't think they have to list the alcohol. Hold on, what is the alcohol got? 30%? 30% by volume, yeah.
Ferment penises.
30% by volume.
And that's not wine, by the way. That's
fortified.
Even 30% is even strong for fortified wine.
Well, it's China, though. It's China. It could be a lie.
So that 30% is like baby's milk for you guys.
Right. So the question is, would you try it? Robin's right into the magical penis wine. He says, "What's it cost?" Soldier's put up a link to the magical penis wine song.
I think I'll stick with my Merlot. Thanks very much. I don't know. I mean, unless they're but then I don't have a partner, so the aphrodisiac side of things is wasted on me anyway.
Right, sorry,
But-
were you going to try it or not? No. Would you try it?
I'd have to, just because I'm super curious, but I'd have to have a sick bucket next to me and something to wash my mouth out with afterwards.
But what if it was good? Would you drink it? If it tasted good, would you just drink it?
I'd probably get myself arrested. I would be so disturbed with myself, I'd probably just turn myself in.
I have a love of magical peanuts.
Oh dear! What the hell?
Yeah.
But then it's that just shows you how crazy the world is.
It sure does, doesn't it? And you know what? It's been great for you. It's Friday night and we're all in.
Welcome to my party, we're just getting started. A life is a dream or a nightmare scarring. Hand me a drink cause I think I'm going all in. Get me a shrink who can catch me when I'm falling. Cover up my scars, flip the handlebars. Crashing in my car, wake up in a bar. I'll be a superstar, just on my avatar. This world is so bizarre, empty out the reservoir. Yeah, I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way. So I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy, don't think I'll get home safe. So I'm taking 6 shots all straight to the face. I'm taking 6 shots, are you coming with me? I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way. So I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy, don't think I'll get home safe. So I'm taking 6 shots all straight to the face. I'm taking 6 shots, are you coming with me? Sometimes you need to let loose, grab juice, get goose, tattoos, taboos, get screwed. Loosen up, buttercup, all those hate comments will never make you feel enough. We're all adequate graduates, heart full of calluses, but we know calculus. Damn, ain't that fabulous? Can't wait to apply all those mathematicus. But we can't get a job that pays us enough. I'm about to pop off. Fuck you, you're lost. We all know that we never really want a boss. So I'ma do what I want to, something I can't undo. Yeah, I'ma do what I want to, something I can't undo. I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way. So I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy, don't think I'll get home safe. So I'm taking 6 shots all straight to the face. I'm taking 6 shots, are you coming with me? I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know